Hello again, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Infield Fly. Happy All-Star break in Major League Baseball. We are with you. I'm Rob Fisher, Keith Murphy, Lang Whitaker, all with you here today talking baseball, what happened in the first half of the season, what to look forward to here in the second half of the season, what to look forward to here on the All-Star break. I am a Cardinals fan. It is that time of year to say, thank God it's halfway over. Keith Murphy's with us. He's a Cubs fan. He says, it's that time of season to think, oh God, what are we going to do here in the next month?
Yes. Make some moves. Let's make some moves.
And Lang Whitaker is with us. His team's the Atlanta Braves. His feeling right now is,
I don't want an all-star break. I want to just keep playing. Let's keep going.
no kid, just keep on going as the Atlanta Braves are rolling. Maybe the most exciting team to watch in baseball right now. So gentlemen, how are you today? Happy All-Star break, Murph.
I'm feeling really good, man. Although I can't figure out the Cincinnati Reds, it's just I don't even know what kind of voodoo they got going on over there. But we just gotta stay close as possible.
That's right. Lang, how are you?
I'm good. I realize that you're a Cardinals fan and you're wearing a Tampa Bay hat. I'm a Braves fan. I'm wearing a Marlins hat. So
That's right. It's
we're all
All-Star
over
break.
we're just celebrating
Yeah,
baseball.
we're celebrating baseball here today. That's right. Exactly.
I have an all-star break question for you guys. So tonight's the home run derby.
Right.
Yeah.
And this morning I was taking my son to camp and when I was saying, hey, let's go home and watch the home run derby. And he said, all right, great. And then he said, hey, question, Dad, did they have other stuff besides the home run derby? He said, like on the NBA, they have the 3-point contest, the dunk contest, the skills challenge. In baseball, do they have other stuff too? And I said, I don't think they do. Do they? They used to have the celebrity softball game that was on after the home run derby, but I don't even know if that happens anymore. Like, this seems like this would be cool. Remember, like at the Pro Bowl this year, and they had all those crazy stunts where you had to like hit a moving target with a football or kick it,
Right.
tic-tac-toe, and all this stuff. Like, this seems like this would be a great time for MLB, like to throw in other stuff.
Like a skills challenge.
Yeah, like
Outfielders throwing.
yeah,
to
or like you
home,
have to bunt the ball in a certain place, or
well, that would be hell trying to find guys that can bunt in this league.
yeah, that's true. Especially if you're an all-star, you can't bunt probably.
Right.
The GMs would not want that to happen. They don't want any part of that special challenge or anything. They don't want anybody to
Yeah,
an Achilles or something like that.
I mean, but we got the pitch clock now. Like, baseball is supposed to be user friendly. This seems like a great opportunity to have something that would, maybe a pitcher, you're not throwing the fastest pitch you can throw, but you have to like throw a curveball around a pole or something. I don't know, some sort of something. Tic-tac-toe with pitching. How about that? Where you have to like hit the things.
Home run derby has evolved. Is it good now? I mean, do we like home run derby? Because obviously without having a skills competition, they've put all their chips in that one basket of home run derby is our event for the night before the All-Star game. And they've changed it a little bit. They've tried to do some things with it. I mean, are we good? Are we happy with our home run derby?
It's more watchable, that's for sure. Not having to deal with people at the plate for like 5 hours trying to hit it out of the park. Like, I mean, that's a positive.
Yeah,
I think I don't know. I feel like the last couple of years I haven't lasted till the end of it. Maybe I'm old, but my wife's out of town tonight, so my son and I were like, we've made plans to watch the home run derby. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see if we're able to like sit down and watch the whole thing. I was thinking though, like it's in Seattle and it's going to start at whatever 8:00 Eastern time or 7 Eastern time. So is it going to be like where the shadows going across home plate during the thing?
probably.
That's the worst.
Might be a strikeout derby.
That would be hilarious if the guys all were like fooled by the shadows on the plate.
Exactly. Yeah, it's it'll be fun. I look forward to it. I'll tell you what, I hate to say it, I look forward to it more now that Chris Berman's not on the broadcast.
I was thinking the same thing when you asked earlier, like if we were going to enjoy it and stuff. I thought that was my first thought, but I was
nothing like some throwback Chris Berman hate.
Some throw back Chris Berman.
Exactly. Some back.
Here's the thing. I love Chris Berman when he was on NFL Primetime. Chris
Right.
Berman and Tom Jackson in NFL primetime was
Yeah, they
the
were the
best.
best. They were.
I like him doing baseball just felt like trying to hammer a square peg into a round hole, doing the
Yes.
home run derby.
Right.
Yeah, no kidding. So it'll be better that way. All right, we'll talk more about the Derby coming up here in a moment, but we got a lot to catch up on. Been gone the last couple of weeks. We've had a couple of no-hitters since we've been gone. Domingo Germán of the Yankees, who has been suspended 10 games this season for having a sticky glove, did not get caught this time, as he threw a 24th perfect game in baseball history, the first since 2012, as he threw a perfect game against the Oakland A's. I guess that still counts.
Yeah.
Despite throwing
It's not a
against-
minor league team. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, this team's been shut out 10 times already this season. So, but he did that. He was terrific. I mean, to throw under 100 pitches in a perfect game is incredible.
it was like a
and then
2-hour game, right? Fish?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Like a 2-hour
it was
game? Yeah.
He threw I think he threw that 99 pitches. I mean,
Wow.
that's unbelievable. And then the Tigers come out and they throw a combined no-hitter this week against the Toronto Blue Jays. Those aren't that exciting.
Yeah.
The perfect game thing's pretty amazing though. And Germán was he was great. So that's kind of fun. 24th perfect game in history. Are you enamored by perfect games?
I am still. I think that's kind of like the one that still catches my eye because it's just so tough to do. Those
Yeah.
combined games though, that's so
Yeah.
fake. It's so I don't know about that, man.
I
Yeah,
can't. I feel like no hitters have kind of lost some of their shine. Like it's not as cool anymore because we've seen it so much. But the perfect game is unbelievable. That's
Yeah.
amazing, especially
Yeah.
if it's one dude throwing it the whole.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised that's the first since 2012. And what's
Yeah.
amazing was there were 3 of them in 2012.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So yeah, so that's pretty incredible. My favorite thing over the last couple of weeks was Juan Soto challenging Shohei Ohtani.
I
Two
knew
of
you'd
our
love that.
favorites. When Soto said, "Wait till he gets a look at our lineup." They did beat Shohei. Shohei
Yeah.
has a cracked nail in his finger. He still hits, but he had trouble throwing. And the Padres still suck. So
Yeah.
didn't really do anything for Juan Soto, who walked 7 times the last 2 weeks, by the way.
He's the walk king.
Yeah, Shohei was on a roll before they played the Dodgers, where he went hitless in the series against the Dodgers. Shohei was on as big of a tear as anybody in baseball. The role that he was going through offensively, but then things got bad as they lost Mike Trout for 4 to 8 weeks. Angels have lost 9 of their last 10 games. It's really starting to dip into the, oh no, what are the Angels going to do now?
I mean, they can just get Shohei's agent on the phone and just beg for him to stay.
You mean it's really dipping into just another Angels season?
Right. Like it's like
what's so different?
That's right.
basically, it's to say
That's
it's like Groundhog Day for them at this time of the season. Everything just falls apart, and your typical Trout injury too, like just it just happens.
Bro, I mean that it is one of the most frustrating injuries in baseball. Breaking the hamate bone in your hand, which is basically, if you're looking at your hand, it's just right in the middle of your hand, and it's this little tiny bone.
Yep.
And it's a bone that has no use. It has no use. It's just there. And he broke it on a foul tip. I mean, he swung. He didn't get hit. It's just the way you swing, and you can break that bone. And when you do, it's very painful. And basically, there are 2 things they can do. You just let it heal, or you have surgery and they remove it. He's going to be out 4 to 8 weeks, and it's just, I mean, this team, they were fighting for a playoff spot, and you thought, okay, maybe they'll be buyers so they can get Shohei in the postseason and they can really go from there. And now all of a sudden you lost 9 of 10, Trout's out another 7 weeks. And I mean, what do you do? What do you do if you're the Angels now? Just hope?
Yeah.
Wait to get hot.
I mean, if you're the Angels, your argument should be like, yeah, we have these 2 generational players, but like we have other guys, like we have other people who can play. Like somebody else has got to step up here, I would think.
I mean, that's
maybe Rendon, the other guy they're paying $30 million. Oh no, he got hurt too. He had a foul ball off his ankle.
Yeah,
and he was terrible when he was playing. It's that is, if you're an Angels fan, it is depressing right now. I mean, once Trout went down.
What's the time frame they giving Shohei for him to continue pitching again?
They haven't really said. I don't think it's anything serious. It was just a cracked nail, and it was just bothering him. He had a blister.
Yeah, that's what I heard. I heard the blister.
It was a blister, and then he had a cracked nail, so he was dealing with both things. I don't know. They've even said that they were going to try and, you know, cut down his load a little bit, and I'm thinking if you're planning on cutting down his load, well, plan on him not being back. I mean, you know, I mean, if they got to do everything they can to make the playoffs, and right now it just doesn't look good with Trout out, and their pitching is starting to come back to reality a little bit, and it's just it's a bad roll. 9 of their last 10 the Angels have lost, so it'll be interesting to see. That's going to be the biggest story going into the second half of the season, is what the Angels will do, if they're planning on trying to re-sign him and keep him, if they're going to try and move him at the deadline, or if they're going to try and take a gamble and keep him the rest of the year and then work on something in the off season. It'll be interesting to see what they're going to try and do with Shohei Ohtani. That'll be one of the biggest things to watch. But I mean, you talk about changing the landscape of the season. If he were to be traded by the trade deadline, what that would do to whatever team acquires him. And
I mean, it would be record breaking, whatever it is. Like I can't see them doing the standard, you know, getting picks and, you know, that sort of. I just don't want to know how much money. Yeah, I don't know how much money he's going to get. Basically, is what I'm trying to say.
I mean, it would be. It's got to be like the most, like, I don't know how to phrase it. The most consequential trade deadline pickup of all time.
Yes.
By a team in any sport.
Make an argument for it. Sure. I mean, in the biggest haul that will ever be gotten for a player, and then a contract in the off season that's going to be the biggest contract for a North American sport, for any player. So there's a lot. I mean, here in the next, 6 months when it comes to Shohei Ohtani, and really not just Shohei, but the landscape of baseball. I mean, he could shift it in a way that would be pretty incredible. So that'll be really interesting to see what happens. And man, I got my Shohei Angels jersey this year.
Right.
Bad timing on my part. We'll see what happens with him. Meanwhile, the Braves are on a roll. 8 All-Stars, Lang. That's pretty darn incredible. Have won 21 of 26 games and 14 of their last 17. They had their 9-game win streak snapped by Cleveland. Then they just proceeded to come back the next day and just pound them 8-1.
Yeah.
Man, it's fun to watch this team play right now, because it just feels like, don't tune in late.
Right.
Tune in the first inning to watch this team get started, because they've gotten started early in every game.
They hit early home runs. They have fun on the field. Sometimes you feel like you want to throw at these guys, but nobody's throwing at them. Like, nobody's trying to hurt them. And I think people are just letting them have fun.
Who are you, Don Mattingly? Like, we don't need this. Trying to injure people. But the thing with the Braves is, like, they've had a lot of big first innings. They jump on other teams. I mean, that's going to happen when you have like Acuna, Albies, Olsen all coming up in the first inning. But they can also fight back in late innings. They've won games in so many different ways all season. It's incredible. I don't know what else to say. I do think the thing about All-Star, to me, that I kind of found refreshing and good is that they're going to play the home run derby tonight. Acuna said no. They asked him to do it. He said no. Wow. They asked Matt Olson to do it. He said no. And they both said, we're just going to go play in the All-Star game and like get back to the season. Like, it feels like those guys were kind of like, hey, you know what? Like we're shooting for something bigger than just a weekend in Seattle. I mean, and pitching, like Bryce Elder's not going to pitch. Strider's not going to pitch. They made the All-Star team. Both of them like opted out. So I don't know. It feels like there's an attitude with these guys that they're like, hey, we're really focused on this second half of the season, and let's get up there and have fun. But we got bigger fish to fry.
All business.
Than this.
Yeah. Pretty incredible what they've done. You mentioned Spencer Strider, second player in the All-Star era since 1933 to strike out 160 batters, allow 80 hits or fewer entering the All-Star break, joining Max Scherzer in 2017 when he went on to take home the NL Cy Young honors. Also, the Braves sending a franchise record 8 All-Stars to the Midsummer Classic, the most by an NL team since the 2008 Cubs, who also sent 8. Atlanta's the 5th NL team to send 8 players to the All-Star game, with two of the prior 4 reaching the World Series, 1960 Pirates and the 1943 St. Louis Cardinals. Also, the Braves hit 161 home runs through 84 games, the most home runs through a team's first 84 games in MLB history.
Lang, are you surprised at their power right now? Are you surprised how many home runs they
No, I figured that.
backing
I
out?
mean, no, this is always, in the last few years, they've been a home run team, hitting team. I guess the big surprise is like that the first month of the season, they had a lot of strikeouts, and it was kind of like, oh, that might be an issue this year, but they've kind of figured that out. And hitting all those home runs, like when your pitching is as bad as our starting pitching has been this year, like with all these injuries and everything, and trying to figure out how to get through it, you're gonna have to outscore teams a lot, and that's what they've done. By the way, Fish, this weekend, Saturday, perhaps, maybe Sunday, it looks like here in Memphis, the Braves could have a Max Fried start. For the Gwinnett Stripers. Max Fried's pitching for the AAA team, and they're playing at the Redbirds this weekend. So there's a chance.
Looks like we got to go to another Redbirds game.
Might have to. So.
Well, we'll have to go see that. That's the thing I think that goes overlooked with the Braves right now, for how dominant they've been. They have an 8.5 game lead. They're the first team to win 60 games in Major League Baseball. They're still doing it with kind of a makeshift pitching staff.
Yeah.
I mean,
no Kyle Wright, no Max Fried.
Strider and Elder have both been terrific, and Morton's been really good. But then you're just kind of mixing and matching other guys to take those roles right now.
Schuster, Dodd, they tried Soroka, that didn't work out. Now he's back. That Smith Shawver had a shot. Like they're trying whatever they can to get through it. But I mean, as long as like the pitchers can hold the other teams to like 4 or 5 runs, like they got a shot. Like it's pretty weird, but that's kind of the way it works.
Yeah, no kidding. Meanwhile, the Chicago Cubs, Murph, it's that time of year to wonder, what are we going to do here in the next 3 weeks? Cubs have struggled a little bit, just 5-9 in their last 14, split 4 at Milwaukee, which was a great series, dramatic series, late inning wins, late inning losses in that series with the Brewers. Then go to New York to take on the Yankees, win 2 of 3 there, and Jameson Taillon had maybe his best performance of the season on the hill. They rally in the finale to win it as well. So a good finish prior to the All-Star break for the Chicago Cubs.
Very good finish. We're definitely going to be buyers, it looks like.
You think?
Oh yeah, man, you should see the fans right now, man. Even with those losses, the way we've been losing lately, have been kind of like, okay, I can deal with that. I can deal with that loss, as opposed to like just getting hammered the first 3 innings and then having no shot at all. I just like the way everybody's clicking in. I think the manager's feisty now. He's like, cursing out umpires now, like, and we're getting some good production from the infield. Our pitching's been pretty yo-yo-ish right now. It's weird. It's like, one moment we'll be pitching good from a mound, and the next moment, we're just falling apart by like the 5th or 6th inning. So I like what we're doing. I just think we need another pitcher, and I think we need someone else maybe from the left side of the plate to kind of solidify the offense. But I think we're going to be buyers.
Yeah, and I think the pitching continues to be fantastic for the Cubs here, and they'll have a couple of all-star pitchers as well, and very well deserving for Chicago. And it's been I just hope for your sake Cubs fans aren't disappointed.
Yeah.
When we get to this trade deadline. I mean the worst thing that could happen is trade Stroman, trade Happ, and all of a sudden it's like, now what are we doing?
Yeah, I don't. Hop is one thing, because you can kind of see they're looking at Hop as kind of like, lightning in a bottle. He's not going to be able to repeat what he's repeating. So let's try to just sell him early.
Take advantage of it.
Yeah, take advantage of it. Man, don't get rid of Stroman. Like I don't even get those debates happening right now. I mean, I know they think that this cat's not going to be have to continue that type of torrid pace that he's been doing on the mound. But come on, man, you got to keep him. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Pitching premium in pitching, and you know this, Lang, is you got a band-aid over there right now. Like you got Morton. Like I don't. He's doing some unbelievable things, but nobody thought he'd be doing this. Come on, man. You just got to keep. If you got good pitching, I don't care where it comes from. You keep him.
Is Swanson not playing in the All-Star game? Somebody said he got banged up or something.
Yeah, I think he got a little banged up. I don't know if he's going to play. I think he might have to sit it out.
I was wondering how he would feel about, the starting shortstop being the guy the Braves replaced him with at 1/8 of the price that he was making. I mean, he got paid. I'll give him that. But
man, listen, that's just your GM working their magic, man. I just can't wait to see all of those great players of yours come up again for re-signings and see if they'll be able to get that discount again, because you guys have been,
you're gonna have to wait about 7 years for that.
Yeah,
no kidding. It's stupid. To think of what the Mets are paying two pitchers, I think adds up to what the Braves are paying.
It's ridiculous. It's probably like the whole outfield. Like come on, man.
It's unbelievable. Meanwhile, the Cardinals suck, and I don't know if there's a guy that comes to mind for you guys, but as a Cardinals fan right now, it's heartbreaking and it's painful. Watch Adam Wainwright pitch. I mean, it's a guy who one of the great he'll go down as one of the great Cardinals of all time. I mean, his career's been fantastic. He's a win away from having 200 wins in his career. He's been a Cardinal his entire career since coming over from the Braves as a rookie, and has pitched and had the long tenure with Yadier Molina. And I mean, he's a beloved Cardinal. And right now, every time he takes the mound, it's just cringeworthy. I mean, he pitched against, well, for example, his game against the Marlins the other night, and it's like, all right, here we go. First batter, laser into left field. Second batter, laser into the alley. Third batter, laser into right center. It's 2-0. Fourth batter, home run. It's 4-0. You're like, oh my God, he can't get a guy out. I mean, it's painful to watch because he has a 86-mile-an-hour fastball, and the location isn't what it used to be, and people are laying off his out pitch of the curveball that he's not throwing for strikes. He's just. And what's amazing was he was amazing last year. I mean, he was a Cy Young Award candidate last year with an ERA under 3, won a significant number of games. I mean, he was terrific, and you thought, well, sure, come back. I mean, even if you're our 4th or 5th guy, you're going to be great. He can't get anybody out, and unfortunately, he's the only Cardinal pitcher that's healthy. So, and he can't get anybody out. So now they put him on the injured list with, I think they called a sore shoulder. And it feels, as a Cardinal fan, right? He doesn't have a sore shoulder. He's on the shoulder. He's got an old shoulder. Yes, and the reason he's on the injured list now is to just try and get some rest and maybe figure something out. And it almost feels like you want him to just say, "Yeah, my shoulder's shot. I'm done."
Yeah.
You almost want him to quit.
I was gonna say, like, if
because it's awful to watch.
Shoot, if he can give me 5 innings, I'll take him on the Braves.
He can't.
He can't even do that. You know what it is?
He can't get you out of the second.
Fish, you called it. His curveball sets up everything. And if the curveball is not working, it can't fool. Like the fastball can't fool you. The curveball set people up, and then he was able to throw that 87, 90 mile an hour fastball at you because you think it's going to be another curveball, but it's the curve. He's not getting in on location. It's not going anywhere.
No, and it's awful. It's awful to watch. Cardinals did lose 3 of 4 at Miami. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Just when you think you could lose a game in any way possible.
Oh, brutal. I know what you're about to say.
Cardinals are winning by a run. Marlins have 1st and 3rd in the 9th, 2 outs, 2 strikes, down to the final strike, down a run, tap back to the pitcher.
Yep.
Ball game.
Yep.
Cardinals get the win, right? Jordan Hicks, I hate when balls are hit to the pitcher because the pitcher's throwing anywhere other than home can always be an adventure. Hicks gets the ball, throws to first, and Paul Goldschmidt, who's a large man, doesn't even attempt to catch the ball because it was so far over his head, and it goes into right field. Runner scores all the way from first. Marlins win it. I mean, just finding ways to just be a disaster. And that was another example for the Cardinals. And it just gets worse. Jordan Montgomery, the Cardinals' best pitcher, having his right hamstring evaluated after he left his start on Friday. Now, that's a big problem because, one, he's your best pitcher, but two, he's your best asset to trade at the trade deadline as well. And now he's got a hamstring problem. So the Cardinals need him back and need him healthy in one way or another, whether to pitch for them or to move him. And then Zach Thompson, who got sent down this week by the Cardinals down to the minor leagues. At the time that he was sent down, it was described that he was excited about the move to go down and get some starts and, you know, maybe come back as a starter. Zach Thompson on the pregame show asked about being moved to Memphis. He said, to be honest, I was a little caught off guard. Yet the Cardinals told us he was excited about the move, but apparently he was caught off guard. So
I mean, but we know the Cardinals have had mixed messages all season long from the front office and the coaching staff and the players.
And it's something that isn't normal with this team. I mean, that's what's really weird about this team right now. Those are things that aren't normal. What also isn't normal is going into a trade deadline wondering if you're going to be sellers. Sellers? What? I can't remember the last time the Cardinals went into a deadline and there was a question of whether or not they would be sellers.
Well, they're in the cellar.
Here we are. Yeah, no kidding.
Listen, I think they're going to blow that team up, Fish.
I do too.
But who are you going to trade?
Anybody,
Arenado, that's like who? But nobody wants anybody else.
Anyone but Goldschmidt. I think everybody can be had for a price except Goldie. That's it. You keep him. I mean, you know, unless you can find some, you know, extraordinary compensation for him. But they're not trading that man. He's the face of the franchise. So I think anybody can get it.
I don't know. I think everybody's available,
including Goldie.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to blow it up, blow it up.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah. But see, they're not a franchise that's going to blow it up and we're going to rebuild and we're going to start over and we might be in the cellar for a few years. I mean, this is a franchise that they expect next year they will be back to win.
Who's they?
So the organization, front office. Absolutely. So now what do you do? I mean, so you can't blow it up completely if you're going to expect to win next year.
Right.
So, but you got Flaherty, you got Montgomery, a couple guys who are in the last year of a contract. I don't know. I don't know how much you can get for these guys.
Listen, speaking as a man that have seen their team literally blow up everything in front of them and just trade their best players away, players that you never thought would be traded. Anything can happen.
Yeah.
Like whenever I turn on a Yankees TV and dude walks up to the plate and I just look at him and I cry because you know who I'm talking about. I don't even like saying his name anymore. I mean, it's just the whole thing is just disgusting. So if you ever feel the same way that I felt that season where they were just unloading everybody, man, just walk
right. Cardinals last 12 games, they've been outscored after the fifth inning, 45-17. 45-17. Yeah. Meanwhile, the Cincinnati Reds remain red hot. They've been unbelievable. It's been kind of fun to watch this team. The Reds now, they have won 17 of their last 21. They are 19-6 since Ellie De La Cruz made his debut. It's the Ellie show, yo.
Yeah.
I do a lot of hate watching with that team now. Like I'm watching them and I'm like, oh man, what a great play. But then I'm like cursing, you know, like, come on, man. Y'all gotta lose one game. Come on.
He's one of those guys who is giving fans moments. You know? I went to the Marlins Phillies game on Saturday because I was in Miami and had a couple hours, and that was while we were at that game was when De La Cruz got the single where he stole second, third, and home. right
Yeah.
afterwards. And when I left the stadium, I saw it on Twitter while I was at the stadium. When I got on the elevator in the parking garage, two other guys were talking about it, and the three of us had a whole conversation about a game that happened thousands of miles away.
Right.
We had all seen on social media. Like, people are already kind of being like, "Oh wow, did you hear what De La Cruz did?" Like, it's pretty cool to have a guy who's kind of given those moments already.
Yeah, and when we talked about when he first came up, your hope is that he's great. I mean, when a guy is a can't miss prospect and potential superstar, well, you want him to be great. I mean, it's
Yeah.
great for the game, and so far he's shown those flashes of just being incredible. And his speed is amazing. His power is great. I mean, he does everything so well. And his fielding, he threw a ball the other day on a ground ball down the third base line that he backhanded and was in foul territory and just turned and whipped a strike over to first base. I mean, it's incredible to watch. And the Reds, with a 1-game lead over the Milwaukee Brewers, 7-game lead over the Cubs. Pirates have fallen back to 8.5 back, and then the Cardinals are 11.5 back. All right, yeah, no kidding. Let me tell you a little bit about what's coming up. Big 3 basketball.
Yeah.
Cube, yeah.
It's coming to Memphis this Saturday. Big 3 basketball coming to FedEx Forum this Saturday, July 15th. 6 action-packed games featuring former NBA stars, including Grizzlies legend Tony Allen, along with Hall of Fame coaches as well. Each ticket gets you access to all 6 games. You can purchase the tickets at Ticketmaster.com or FedEx Forum box office. For more information, visit FedExForum.com. Also, don't download the brand new official Grind City Media mobile app. You can explore new ways to access your favorite GCM content, from your favorite shows and series to news and entertainment. Stay connected with exclusive content at your fingertips with the new Grind City Media mobile app, available on both the Apple and Google Play stores.
I didn't know the Big 3 had coaches.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
They got women coaches too, Lang.
Yeah, but like, what do you tell them? Set up screen, go back door.
Well, it is
3-on-3. There's only so much you can do.
There is a sort of like who hangs out at the basket, who gets the rebounds, like who plays defense at certain points. I mean, there's a little strategy going on.
I mean, they tell Joe Johnson to go 1-on-1. Like,
I think he walks out of bed going 1-on-1.
ISO Joe.
Yeah. All right. We're at the All-Star break. Who is the most pleasant surprising team this year? The most pleasant surprising team.
I know Murph's not going to say the Reds.
Yeah, I am not going to say the Reds, but they are.
How about the Marlins?
Yeah, Marlins would be the other one.
I can see that.
Wild card team right now under Skip Schumacher.
Yeah, I went to the game Saturday. It was probably like 70% Phillies fans. I bought 3 tickets on the 10th row for $35 each.
Wow.
About 2 hours before the game. It was awesome. I had a great time. And actually, like, the Marlins won the game, and the fans that were there who were cheering for the Marlins were really into it. I was kind of upset when I got there because Arias, who's been flirting with 400, he was at like 386 this weekend, wasn't in the lineup. And I was like, oh man, like, I came to this game and they said they'd given him a day off. But then late in the game, it got down to like it was a 1-run game, and they pinch hit Arias with people on base, and he fought and got a single, and the crowd went crazy. It was cool. There was and I saw a lot of fans wearing like throwback Marlins. There's a lot of Dontrelle Willis jerseys. I sent you guys a picture of an Andre Dawson jersey. Like, there was a lot.
Which is crazy. Andre
Dawson. That was awesome.
Hardly remember that.
The guy down the aisle from me was wearing I think it was Sid Fernandez. It was a Fernandez jersey. And I would assume that was Sid Fernandez. Did he play on the Marlins? I mean, I know he's on the Mets forever.
How many seasons was Dawson there?
Not many.
Oh, that's Jose Fernandez.
What was it, like 2 or 3?
Oh, yeah. Dawson, I maybe 1 or 2.
Yeah.
I mean, heck, if he was on the Rays, they would have retired his number and put him in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
But
like they did with Wade.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, it was fun. Like, there's like the Marlins have something cooking there.
What do you think of the park? I went there for the World Baseball Classic, and it felt like a mall.
It does, yeah. You know what it feels like? It feels like the mall in Stranger Things. Like, it feels like it feels like a mall from the 1980s.
Wow.
And because it's all white, and it has like a lot of like, so it felt like that, but, and because it has like a roof on it, like
Yeah.
the roof is closed. So it feels like you're indoors in a mall. And I don't know, it was strange. The upper deck was closed. There's no fans in the upper deck at all, which kind of forces it to be a little more intimate in the lower levels. But I had a good time, and it's super close to downtown. It's close to the airport. We left there and drove straight to the airport. It was a 7-minute drive. I told my wife, I was like, she has family in Miami, and I said, you know what? Like next time we go, let's go when the Braves are in town, because it would be cheaper to go to Miami to watch the Braves play than it would be to go to Atlanta and watch the Braves play, and having to buy tickets there, where every game's a sellout.
I mean, you just said you brought the ticket on the day of the game and it was $35.
I bought it like 4
in
hours.
the 10th row.
That's crazy to me. Like I'm still like flabbergasted at that.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, the World Baseball Classic ticket was a little bit more because there were actually people there for those games. But the answer is the Reds and the Marlins for sure. For the surprising teams, who's the biggest disappointing team? You got a lot of candidates for that. Is it Cardinals, Padres?
I think Padres.
Padres all the way.
Yeah.
Padres all the way.
Mets, maybe. I mean, it's got to be Padres.
The Mets have, they have some pitching issue. They have some injury issues. There's no issues with the Padres. Like there's like they are stacked, and there's no reason for them to be struggling. Seriously.
Just to be under 500 is unbelievable.
I was reading an article in the Atlantic Saturday after the Marlins game. I went straight to the airport. Supposed to have a 10 o'clock departure to Memphis, and it kept getting bumped back, and we've ended up leaving after 1 a.m.
Jeez.
I couldn't believe it actually took off. I thought they would just cancel the thing. But anyway, I didn't want to use my phone battery, so I bought some actual magazines and newspapers at the newsstand. And I bought the Atlantic because the cover story was how they saved baseball or something like that. And it was about the pitch clock and how like Major League Baseball kind of implemented it. There's a guy, I can't remember his name. He was like in his late 30s, and he was the one who works for Manfred, who kind of rode this whole idea and kind of pushed it through. And Theo Epstein was part of it too. But the whole lead of the story is the first game of spring training where they tried it out for the first time was a Padres game. And so the writer went to the game, and he gets there early, and he's supposed to talk to Juan Soto, and he goes in the locker room, and Soto shows up like 45 minutes late. And the PR people are like, no, I don't know, that he's kind of new here. We're not really sure. And they're like being real apologetic and everything. And that's not really the point of the story. The point, then he talks to Soto, and he talks about how this whole thing took an hour and how baseball things take a long time. But I did think it was kind of funny that like, this is the guy you traded everything for, and it's the first day of spring training and everything. And Soto, he's not there. They can't find him.
Yeah, that's like
it's sort of emblematic.
Yeah,
exactly.
Emblematic of the whole thing. Yeah.
All right, Soto. Division leaders. Tell me yes or no. Do they keep the lead in their division the rest of the season? Atlanta Braves.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Cincinnati Reds.
Yes. Unfortunately, I think they do.
I think so.
I mean, Milwaukee's really the only threat, and they haven't shown any reason that you think they'll overtake them. So
no.
Yeah, I'll stick with them as well. The Dodgers and Diamondbacks are now tied for first place in the West.
I like the Diamondbacks catching. I like them. I like the Dodgers kind of coming down a bit because they've been going back and forth lately. I can see the Diamondbacks kind of leapfrogging them.
I just don't know if the only thing with the Dodgers is, can they keep it up, right? Like, can they, and can what's his name? Betts keep hitting home runs and everything the way he's been going this year. So maybe they do. They have a lot of money and things, and they have a lot of high priced players and talented guys. Maybe they're able to keep it up. So I don't know. I think if the Reds do it in the Central, the Dodgers do it in the West. I don't think the Diamondbacks and the Reds are going to win their divisions.
Yeah. American League East, the Rays now with just a 2-game lead over the Baltimore Orioles. You saw the Rays play the Braves this weekend, right?
I did. And I didn't really see that much of it because
you were watching the Marlins.
Yeah, but they you can't watch the Rays in Miami because the TV rights thing.
Right.
But I spoke to someone who was at some of those games, and they said I asked them if they went to ask Ronald Acuna for an autograph, and they laughed. And they said that the Braves look like a team that's like ready to, like a championship team.
Yeah, they do.
I did notice Wander Franco has an awesome necklace though. Did you watch any of that?
He's always has an awesome necklace.
It's the color of, it's a gold necklace, but it's like yellow, white gold, or yellow gold. I don't know what you call it. I'm not a jeweler, but it's the color of the Rays star logo thing. It's like bright yellow, and it's like shines. It's incredible.
I hope he doesn't keep it in his car.
I hope so too. Yeah, I thought about that.
keep it out of keep it out of the whip, man. Keep it out of the whip.
Cleveland's in first place in the American League Central. They're a half game up on Minnesota. I don't care. I don't. They seem like identical teams. I
do not see them keeping that first place. I'm surprised that they even,
I get them too mistaken. I mean, if Minnesota's in first next week, I wouldn't know the difference whether it was Cleveland or Minnesota. They seem very similar. And then Texas in the American League West, just a 2-game lead over the Houston Astros.
I think they're going to hold on to it. I think Texas is going to hold on to it.
I don't know. I think the Astros are going to. Fish and I were on a different show last week talking about stuff, and I think the Astros are the team that I think could get hot in the second half and flip that switch.
Yeah, I think I do too. It's just they're banged up a lot too. They'd have to get healthy.
I think maybe they will.
Problem, which they certainly can. Yeah. All right, a couple of notes around Major League Baseball. How about this? Josh Donaldson of the Yankees hit his 10th home run of the season yesterday. He's got 14 hits this year. 10 of them are homers. He's got 14 hits and 15 RBIs. 10 of his 14 hits are home runs. He's hitting about $170.
Maybe he should be in the home run derby.
Man, it's unbelievable. Let's see. The Tigers, of course, had that no-hitter, 20th combined no-hitter in MLB history. 10 of them have come in the last 10 seasons. Detroit's 9th no-hitter in franchise history. All right, our favorite people, Shohei Ohtani. Over the last week, Shohei struggled a little bit after being on fire last week. He went 4 of 17, a triple, a homer, 3 RBIs. His average is at 302. Shohei's hitting 302 with 32 bombs and 71 RBIs. And here at the All-Star break. Pretty amazing. 7-4 pitching, 132 Ks. 2 Tuesdays ago. So 2 weeks ago yesterday, or tomorrow, 2 weeks ago tomorrow, Shohei Ohtani's third time homering in the first inning of a game that he was pitching. 2 of them have come against the White Sox since 1914. The only other starting pitcher with multiple first inning home runs and pitching starts is Carlos Zambrano.
Wow.
Yeah, how about that?
Is he going to play in the All-Star, Fish, you think?
He's going to hit.
You think he's going to hit? Okay.
He's not going to pitch.
He's not doing the home run derby. I saw that.
No.
Yeah.
At the 80-game mark, Shohei led the major leagues in home runs and shared the league in triples. The latest into a season a player has led in both categories since 1978, when Jim Rice played 163 games and finished the season leading in home runs and triples. Shohei joined Sammy Sosa in 1998 as the only players with 30 and 10 stolen bases before July, and recorded his 100th hit of the season. He now has 3 seasons with 100 hits and 100 pitching strikeouts. It's the most such seasons by any player in history, passing Adonis Terry, who did it in 1887 and 1890.
Yeah. So, whenever you have to go back that far, that's a crazy record.
Jeez.
I didn't know there were people named Adonis in the 1880s.
Yeah, I didn't either, unless they were actual
Greek gods.
Yeah. Wander Franco, 5 of 24 with 2 home runs in the last week. He's hitting 282, 11 bombs, 44 RBIs. He's going to the All-Star game.
Yeah.
Julio Rodriguez going to the All-Star game. 9 of 31 last week, 3 doubles, 6 RBIs. He's up to 249. His average went up 9 points. He's starting to hit a little groove. 13 homers, 49 RBIs. Juan Soto. How about this week for Juan Soto? 2 for 20, but 7 walks.
Give me the walks. Give me the walks, Fish.
7 walks, man. He's hitting 268, 15 bombs, 47 RBIs. However, He's one of 3 players since 1900 to hit at least 140 home runs and walk at least 500 times in their first 700 games, joining Frank Thomas and Ted Williams.
So what if Juan Soto is the guy that makes the three of us finally appreciate OPS?
No. Again, my point is I'm not paying a guy $35 million a year to walk. I'm paying a guy $35 million a year to drive people in. And to actually hit the ball over the fence or hit the ball to the fence.
I thought one of those players you was going to name is Wade Boggs, but I forgot that Wade Boggs used to have a nice average. So they're kind of like, okay, yeah, he wouldn't be the one.
326 career hitter who had his number retired by the Rays this week.
The Hall of Fame.
Is everybody? Is that the Rays? Is that Rays just retire everybody's number? Is like that? That's
if
the
they play
there.
Right
yeah.
Yeah, Kevin Kiermaier, I believe, is going to be next on the list. And maybe Blake Snell. Maybe they'll come back and retire Blake Snell's number in Tampa. Problem is nobody stays in Tampa long enough to really retire their number.
Right.
I mean, Wander Franco is one of the top 5 players to ever play in Rays history at this point.
He's like 24.
Yeah, right. And Ellie De La Cruz, pretty amazing. First player aged 21 or younger to have 2 4-hit games within his first 25 games since Luis Rivas in 2000-2001. First player aged 21 or younger with 4 hits on the 4th of July since Bobby Doerr in Boston in 1939. He stole second, third, and home against Milwaukee in a 2-pitch span. The first Reds player to steal 3 bases in an inning in at least the last 60 years. He's also the youngest player on any team to do it over that span as well. And he's the only player in MLB history with 40 hits and 15 stolen bases in their first 30 games. He's fun. He's fun. And every day they're coming up with these numbers, and it's pretty awesome to watch.
I am shocked, and I keep saying this, Fish, shocked that no one is throwing at him, which is good. I like that. I like the fact that just letting this kid have fun. Don't be, antagonize him. Don't try to throw at him because he's like stealing home and you want to make a point. Just play better against the kid. Let him do what he does, man. I see like randos talking about this cat, like people that don't even follow baseball, like basketball fans talking about him. So he's doing something.
I saw the game I was at in Miami. Bryce Harper got hit in the elbow, in his surgically repaired elbow, but and he ended up having to leave the game. But it made me think about, like, if I was a MLB player, like I would have every bit of padding I could have on my outside arm, because so many guys get hit and hurt. And I mean, even Trout just got hurt swinging, didn't even get hit. But like so many injuries happen when you're up there to bat and your arm is out there. Like I would, if they let you wear the stuff, why don't you? Yeah.
I thought they limited it since Bonds, because you remember Bonds used to
Bonds had the Houston. But I mean, Acuna still wears that giant thing that says El Abusador de Baseball on it. And I think some of those guys used to wear like the Velcro thing on their glove, in case the ball hit off their hand. So there's got to be something you're allowed. I know you're allowed to wear some. I just don't know what the rule is.
Yeah. By the way, betting the Cardinals, I am now 46-44 on the season. Betting the Cardinals.
You bet in your squad, Fish.
Yeah, I have a 9-game lead over the team, which is good. I got hot. And on deck this week, we got the All-Star game on Tuesday, and then this weekend we got the Braves hosting the White Sox, the Cubs hosting the Red Sox, Cardinals hosting the Washington Nationals.
The Red Sox is killing it, right? Aren't they? They're on a.
They're on a bit of a roll right now. Yeah. Miami's at Baltimore. That's a good series. Arizona in Toronto. Milwaukee is at Cincinnati, a battle for first place in the National League Central, and Cleveland will be at Texas to take on the Rangers. A couple of first place teams battling in Arlington this weekend as well. All right, fellas, I think that's going to do it for us today. Enjoy the All-Star game. Enjoy the break. Do you like the All-Star game? I like the All-Star game.
I like it.
It's the only All-Star game that actually resembles the game.
And this one's going to be like watching the Braves play. It's going to be Braves all over the place.
So, are they going to have like all 8 guys out there at the same time?
No, some of them aren't playing. The pitchers aren't. But I do want to see Acuna do Acuna things.
Just lead off, get on, steal second, and score.
Yeah, and do the gritty on the
Yeah.
third base path.
Well, it'll be fun watching the All-Star game tomorrow night from Seattle, and then the action returns again this weekend, and we return again with you next Monday here on Infield Fly. That'll do it for us here this week. Thank you much for joining us. Enjoy the All-Star game, everyone. For Keith Murphy and Lang Whitaker, I'm Rob Fisher. We'll talk to you again next week here on Infield Fly on Grind City Media.